This is Hannibal here from the HannibalTV.com, and I have two guests today. This is a SWE Fury related podcast. We have the official SWE award winning ring announcer, Bryce Boudreaux, or Boudreau, sorry. I screwed it up twice now. Bourdreau, and Frank Stone, who had not only wrestled in AEW, but also SWE Fury. How are you guys doing?
Doing pretty good, my man. You hear me loud and clear?
Oh yeah, we can hear you loud and clear. And Frank also spent some time in the military, as my dog is wanting to say hello. And he was also a bouncer, which he was telling me some bouncer stories behind the scenes at the last SWE Fury show. But to start this off, Bryce, why don't you tell us a little bit about this award you just won?
Yeah, man. Just won the award. Of course, it was the Texas Wrestling Review 2020 awards. I was the Texas Wrestling Review 2020 Ring Announcer of the Year. I think the voting process was a couple of months, of course. Those of you who don't know, Texas Wrestling Review, founded by Furman Perez, who used to work in Texas as a ref, did a lot of things behind the scenes, and now has started his own review site for Texas wrestling. And I won the award for ring announcing. I guess I'm voted the best ring announcer in the state of Texas. I ran against some great competitors, Anthony Silva's, and of course, Brittany Nicole, which Brittany Nicole does some ring announcing here and there in the Texas area, but she now works with SWE as our media correspondent. So huge shout out to Brittany Nicole. But yeah, it's an honor. Just a quick sum up. As an announcer, we don't win championships. We announce the wrestling. And this award is my world championship. I'm bringing it everywhere I go. I'm bringing it to every show. I'm going to defend that freaking title. Next year in 2020, I'm going to win it again. So I have two of them. That's the plan. But yeah, that's going to be my world title right there, is that plaque.
Well, you have a fan on here. Matt is congratulating you on that. And you are a good ring announcer. I only experienced hearing you for the first time at the last SWE event back in December that Frank Stone was also on. And I think that was your SWE debut. Hopefully you'll be back in 2021. You've also worked for AEW, as I mentioned. But Frank, could you tell us a little bit about your wrestling career?
Oh, wow. Thank you. Thank you. First, Bryce, I want to say congratulations, man. You announcers in pro wrestling, you guys bring everything together. You put the puzzle together, so we need you. And you're doing a phenomenal job doing what you do. So thank you. My time right now, when it comes to wrestling, pretty much I'm looking at a wild, wild west, man. I'm looking out here. I'm just looking at it's a wild, wild west type countries, territories, and I think things are definitely changing around for me in a way that 2020 was a worse year for most people, but for me, I feel like it was a very great year. I think it was a great optimism year where I actually did a lot of things that I did not think was possible, and a lot of hurdles were jumped. A lot of hurdles. Thank you. A lot of hurdles had to be overcome.
There is a fan on here that says you look like a young Bad News Brown, I guess with that beard. Is he someone that you watched growing up? Because he was one of my favorites, and I actually put on his official memorial show in Alberta after he passed away.
Yeah. Bad News Brown, man, thank you. I appreciate you. Someone who made that comment. Somebody that recognizes a legend. Yeah. But I appreciate that, to be even recognized or be seen to look like someone like that. That's still a great honor in our business still today. I appreciate that.
Yeah, and he definitely had that ghetto blaster finisher move. What's your finishing move for anyone that might not be familiar with your work?
Oh, man. the funny thing about the Ghetto Blast is that I wanted to do that when I first joined wrestling. I was gonna do that, but instead I think we ended up doing something funky where I jumped up, and it was like by accident. And I jumped up, and I caught him in like a leg lariat, and it was like almost like a flying leg lariat, pretty much, and it just became my thing. So pretty much my finisher is a flying leg lariat with the leg across the throat, guillotine style.
Very cool. And Bryce, how did you get into the world of professional wrestling, ring announcing, which seems to be an unusual career aspiration?
Yeah, that's a good question, Hannibal. A lot of people don't strive to be a ring announcer. A lot of people just like they want like whenever I discovered wrestling, I'm sure whenever Frank discovered wrestling, the first thing he wanted to do was become a wrestler, not an announcer or a manager or a rep. You want to become a wrestler first. I could have been a pretty good wrestler. I was a shoot star wrestler. I got a pretty good build. I'm a pretty good sized guy. I got a big chest. Could have been a great wrestler, but I saw that there was a lot of wrestlers and not enough announcers and not enough behind the scenes people. And I already was podcasting, I was doing commentary, and I was just tired of seeing people's drunk uncle or the promoter's kid announcing and just just doing a disservice to the show, and I just like decided, like I could probably do this. I grew up watching David Penzer and Jeremy Borash in TNA and then in WWE with Tony Chimmel. And I always try to mimic those guys. And then I met a local ring announcer, Rod Sterling, who became my trainer and actually just retired and handed the mic to me officially. And Rod taught me everything I needed to know about announcing. I never took a bump to learn how to announce. All it costed me to announce was a 6-pack of beer and a drive down the road to the next show, and that's how I learned how to announce. And it's very not a lot of people want to announce, but I'm telling you, like there's so many jobs in wrestling. You don't just have to be a wrestler. Not everybody's gonna, get on the grand stage of WrestleMania. I saw this void that needed to be filled in, so I filled it. Here I am.
Now we have a fan out here that obviously hasn't heard of SWE Fury. They actually, I believe, have better TV viewership than MLW. I'll put up the TV list right here. I mean, they're available in over 30 million homes. They've also started putting their classic TV shows on the SWE Fury YouTube channel that I'm also doing interviews for now. For instance, this interview is also streaming on the SWE Fury YouTube channel, and they have a lot of good people involved. We've heard recently Lacey Von Erich might be involved coming up, Terry Funk. We've got, I think, Eddie Guerrero's daughter. Teddy Long is the GM. Mark Henry's on the February 6th event in Irving, Texas. Or maybe you can tell us about the February 6th event, Bryce, because you're a Texan and you're the ring announcer. I'll let you do
it. I don't know if I'm a Texan. Well, I appreciate Texas for kind of adopting me.
Oh yeah, you're from Louisiana, right? Cajun. Sorry, I screwed that up.
No, you're good. You're good. You don't have to apologize. No, but I'm a Cajun. I have my Canadian roots, just like you, Hannibal. But no, SWE's next event is, of course, February 6th in Irving, Texas, which is Dallas area, a Dallas metropolitan area, the Dallas Metroplex, as they call it. Irving, Texas. Fun fact: the former home of the old Texas Stadium where Dallas Cowboys used to play football. And that is also where World Class used to do the big super shows back in the day. So that's a very historic area for wrestling right there. But yeah, there's a flyer right there on display. Of course, SWE Sweethearts Brawl. I like how they did the SWE Sweethearts. That's pretty cool. But yeah, huge stars coming. Of course, Mark Henry going to make his SWE debut. I don't think it's going to be. I don't think he's going to wrestle because he's retired, but he will be making an appearance at SWE, first of many, from what I've been told. Huge announcement just made a couple nights ago. I think it was 2 nights ago, or maybe last night. The daughter of Kerry Von Erich. We just mentioned the Von Erichs, world class. Lacey Von Erich, former TNA star, will be in the building, along with the other second generation female wrestlers that we have that are on the way. Of course, Shaw Guerrero, the daughter of the late Eddie Guerrero, on the way as well. And of course, our former SWE women's champion, the daughter of Terry Gordy, the Bat Street Beauty, Miranda Gordy, on the way as well. Just Incredible was also signed for this event. And of course, you're going to see our great general manager, Teddy Long, who makes all the decisions. And he's great. Love to have him there. He does a great job. Of course, that's our second generation stars that are going to be in the building. Are we going to have a women's triple threat match? That's my question. I want to see it. And what the hell is Terry Funk gonna? Is Terry Funk going to be in the building? Are we going to get a video package from Terry Funk? Hannibal, you know more about Terry Funk than I do. So
I might know a thing or two about Terry Funk coming to SWE, but I don't believe it's going to be for the February 6th event. I am not obviously the promoter or on the booking team of SWE. However, I am aware that SWE is currently in talks with Terry Funk to appear in SWE. So I guess people should follow their YouTube channel for all the latest information, as well as their Facebook page. I think it's called SWE Fury TV. But to put that up again for a second, it's pretty cool. Eddie Guerrero's daughter, Kerry Von Erich's daughter, and Terry Gordy's daughter potentially battling it out. I think they have, I don't know, we'll ask Frank about this too, but shy of WWE, AEW, and Impact, I do believe SWE Fury might be number 4 in women's wrestling in the United States right now.
Yeah.
I totally agree. Frank, what about you? Do you think so? Got a great women's division.
I'll tell you what, man, there are potentially some phenomenal women that are in SWE, and I cannot see why not they wouldn't be in the number 4th seed as being as a top division in professional wrestling.
Now, there's a few people saying the best tag team ever was Demolition. I know that that Crimson and Jax Dane are going to be on that SWE February 6th show outside of Dallas. I did do an interview with them recently. They were, of course, managed by Road Warrior Animal. But as far as you guys, who would you say the best tag team is? And by the way, also for Demolition, for you fans here, I'm doing a part 2 interview with Demolition Smash this coming Thursday at noon Eastern. So you guys can look forward to that. It's going to be live for members only, but then it's going to be up for everyone else.
So was the question the best tag team in history, the best tag team in SWE?
Well, I think the best tag team in history right now, I don't think there's SWE tag team champions. It's vacant.
Yeah.
And I understand there's going to be a tournament, but I don't know if it's started or not. You guys could fill us in on that. But to start it off, who was your all-time favorite tag teams? Mine is hands down the Road Warriors.
Okay. Yeah, man.
Frank,
so best
who was your favorite
tag
tag
team of all
team?
time. Oh man. All right, there we go. Now we got some contact, baby. Best tag team of all time. I'll be honest with you. I have to go with. I don't care what anybody say. I'm gonna say Doom, just because nobody wants to say them, but they know that they're unstoppable. Okay, Ron Simmons and Butch Reed is unstoppable. I don't care what you say. But other than that, man, I learned a lot from watching the Rockers, Midnight Express. I learned a lot from watching people like the Hollywood Blondes. Those are tag teams that had a special place for me. Even like Arn Anderson and Tully Blanchard. even those tag teams were great to me because they had such technicalities that I really enjoyed watching. And the in and outs of how they created their matches or how they created the drama in their matches, it just really took me, and it really just it brought you inside those matches, you know, and made you really wonder what was going on, where it was going to go, the twists and turns of that entire story that was being told in front of you. So for me, since I like storytellers so much, I guess for me, one of the best tag teams of all time, for me, I would love to still stay. It's going to be a tag team of like anyone that's in the Four Horsemen, honestly.
Very good. What about you, Bryce?
Okay. I got a lot of them just like Frank, but I'm gonna be pretty easy on this one. I'm a very old school guy. I love old school tag teams. As much as I love the new style tag, I mean, I guess you call them new age, but the Dudleys, of course. I mean, they had an amazing run. But as old school, Midnight Express. I don't know. I don't know why, but I have a tag team that keeps coming to mind: Paul Diamond and Pat Tanaka for some reason. But I'm a big Midnight Express guy. I love the Midnight Express.
Midnight Express
I
are
love the
awesome.
Dudleys. Yeah. I don't know. There's so
Paul
many of them,
Diamond and Pat
but I mean,
Tanaka as
it's
the
kind of time
Orient
to name.
Express. As Bad Company or as the Orient Express for Paul Diamond?
Bad Company. Bad
Yeah,
Company. I was
Bad
about
Company.
to say.
Yeah.
Love Bad Company.
There's a fan on here, one of our members, Matt R., has a question for Frank. How did you like going against Billy Gunn on AEW Dark? Of course, he's in the Hall of Fame now.
Oh, cool, man. It was awesome. You know, going against another big guy, old schooler, you know, it felt great. It felt great to be able to get in there. I'll be honest with you, man. Getting my chance to be in AEW, that was actually after 5 years of being away. That has been like a 5-year hiatus. So that AEW match was actually my first match back in the business after 5 years of being away. So yeah, it was pretty much like getting the ring dust or getting the screws knocked out of my head first, just so I can get back in ring psychology, ring shape, and get myself going again. You know.
How did you pull that off, being out of the business for 5 years and then jumping in there in the number 2 company?
Oh lordy. Honestly, I was blessed, man. I was really happy about that. Pretty much, I was just doing my time doing service in military, and I loved it. I was down here in Fort Bliss, El Paso, Texas, and pretty much once I finally got out, I was trying to figure out what I was gonna do again, and I just gravitated back to what I love doing the most, pro wrestling. So I just called a couple friends, and they told me get my butt in shape, get ready, and I said, all right, I'm on it. And ever since then, I've just been on the grind, just focus on one thing only. And I called them back and said, hey, man, I want to see where I'm at. So I said, I wanted to come up. And they brought me up, and I appreciate them so much. They're amazing people, they really are. I appreciated them, and they gave me an opportunity. I went out there, tried the ropes, got the super kicked out of me, and felt good though to be back in. And after that, I got that urge, man. I got the hit back, and I was just like, all right, keep going, man. I'm not gonna stop. Not gonna stop until I make it to where I want to go.
Very good. Well, we wish you good luck on that, and I definitely hope to see you back in SWE in the future. Maybe when they go back down towards El Paso. But I'm sure you're definitely on their list, because I know Kevin Sullivan specifically told me after the event, as you guys know, because he also said it again in front of both of you, that I should keep an eye on you, because he thought you had some potential. So what was it like getting that kind of praise from Kevin Sullivan, one of the all-time greats, former WCW head booker?
I mean, when the taskmaster gives you a task, you don't you don't mess that up. You go do it. Man, it's my heart was pounding. I think when it's like a feeling like when you go to war, you never forget the feeling of war. So even though you come back and you're a civilian, or you're walking around supposed to be normal, it feels like you're back. You know you're back. You know you're normal. You know you're back standing on ground, on solid ground again. But for some reason, your heart's still beating in the fashion of war. You're still beating at the pace that you knew. You're not slowing down. And I think when Kevin Sullivan, the Taskmaster, told me what he told me, it made my heart beat just one step faster. And I said, all right, it's time to go. It's really time to go. So I know I got some things I got to do. I got some people I got to take out. I got some matches I got to wrestle. So, hey, I'm here.
Very good. Well, we wish you all the best in 2021, and the fans here should definitely follow you. We'll go over this again at the end, but Frank, where can people look you up? And same with you, Bryce.
Oh, my brother, my man. They can look me up on Instagram. I think it's under Frank. It's the hyphen when you go down, right? The down one? Okay. Frank Stone 85. Right? And they can definitely find me on Instagram and also Twitter at frank.stone85 and also Facebook at frank.stone85. They can definitely follow me on there so they can see the newest content, the newest shows, or the latest things coming up. Like we have something coming up in January 24th down here at some stuff. And let's see. I have some stuff coming up. I'll definitely let you guys know ahead of time. Just log on to my page and definitely keep following.
And what about you, Bryce? I know you're on Facebook and Instagram. There might be some delay in our feed.
Sorry,
Bryce,
so.
yeah, sorry. What's your Facebook
and
Instagram?
Just a little bit of a delay.
What's your Facebook?
I'm really simple. Get me on Facebook. Yeah, Facebook, Bryce Boudreaux, just like it says in the name thing right there. It has my name. I think that's where my name is. That's my name. Right, that's how it's spelled. It's somewhere. I don't know. Whatever. But
yeah.
My name is spelled pretty simple on Facebook.
That way. I'm pointing at your name now.
Wait, we could shake hands if we want. I don't know.
Like one of those.
There we go. Yeah,
there we go.
That's hilarious. Here's an unusual.
I'm pretty simple.
He's pretty simple.
Just Bryce Boudreaux on Facebook. Yeah, that's Boudreaux. A simple guy. Boudreaux. That's it.
So, see, I'm gonna know it by the end of this. Matt T has an interesting question for us. Do we all remember Herb Abrams, UWF? I only really heard about it from shoot interviews, and then I, of course, watched the Dark Side of the Ring documentary on it, but I don't think we got it up here in Canada, and I would have been pretty young at that time, so I had no recollection of it when it was happening. What about you guys? What about Frank?
I have no idea. Honestly, I'm not going to sit here and tell you I know. I'll let you take my man. Go ahead, Bryce.
Well, I am a huge fan of that UWF, not the mid. Well, I mean, I was a huge fan of Mid-South UWF, but the UWF Herb Abrams was totally different. I'm a huge fan of, and this is going to sound crazy. It's going to sound weird that I'm saying this because we're talking about a company that's gaining a lot of steam, but I'm a huge fan of hearing stories about promotions that are no longer a thing, but had like this good run and were kind of an afterthought. And Herb Abrams' UWF was totally insane. You have this guy, Herb Abrams, who's just always coked out, okay? This guy's always partying hard every night. He's got all this money, and he just wants to take over. And he just wanted to do wrestling. But then he met Vince McMahon, and he thought he can become partners with Vince McMahon. And Vince McMahon was like, ha, ha, get out of here, pal. And then Herb Abrams was like, that's it. We're going full force. And he, like, books Andre the Giant. He books everybody. And it's crazy. Like, he's booking these huge arenas and like 17 people show up. And he's like, screw it, I'll ring announce. And Oh boy. But the UWF, I mean, had a bunch of great stars that were at the time nobodies. Mick Foley was one of those guys who no one knew about, but it was a star in UWF. But if you guys want more information on UWF, Wrestling with Regret, Brian, I think his name is Brian Zane. Oh no, I'm
Yeah,
not.
I've actually seen that.
Yeah, Wrestling with Regret does a great documentary. It's called The Promotion Graveyard, and they do a great documentary about UWF and its flaws, and then of course Dark Side of the Ring about Herb Abrams. But what a wild guy! R.I.P. Herb Abrams. He was a great guy, from what I've been told.
Yeah, there was another company that tried to run Daytona, the Ocean Center, recently. I won't mention the company's name because the guy ended up being quite a crook, but they had, according to Bob Cook, who was there representing the Cauliflower Alley Club, because Barbara Goodish was there because she lives in Daytona, but they had like 50 people in the Ocean Center in Daytona Beach, and they had advertised 11 wrestlers that they didn't actually book. And it was just a total catastrophe. And it reminded me of Herb Abrams, but Herb Abrams didn't false advertise people, at least, unlike this clown. But yeah, Vernon Williams gave me a $3.99 super sticker. So thank you for that. Really appreciate it. Frank, you were telling me backstage at the last SWE show some of your bouncing stories. You dealt with guns and some pretty serious people over the years in some pretty in bars that were attended by some gangs and so forth. Could you share with us one of those stories from your bouncing days? Because the fans always love to hear that stuff.
All right. That's cool, man. Like I say, it's all, I mean, yeah, now I think about it, it's all fun and games and I laugh now, but good story told. Yeah, man, I'm sitting back there. We're enjoying, the club is going nice. And so down here in El Paso, Texas, and everything was going great. And one of the employees came over to me and said, "Hey, man, we just saw a snap and we need you to come over here." So I'm like, "What you talking about? Like, what's, all right, let me go with you. What's going on? I'm leaving my post so I can go find out what you're talking about some snap." Okay. So I go over there and they show a snap on this on the boss's phone, and it shows that they got the pictures where you can take pictures and it goes to locations and you can see what's going on in the location on the snap. And you see like one of the attendees in the place has a gun and they're flaunting it, like they're dancing with the music with a gun on snap in our location. So I walk on over and they're like, "That's the guy right there." And nobody knows what to do. Like nobody knows what to do at all. So it's like, do they just rush them? Do they jump them? Do they, anything? They have no idea what's going to happen if they go to this guy and be like, "Hey man, give me your gun or get out." So I walk over and I just, I tell them, just be cool, man. I walk over there and I see the guy, man. I'm just saying hi to them, "What's up? How you doing, man?" And I walk over to the guy that has the gun and say, "Hey man, how you doing? You good?" He's like, "Yeah, man. Hey, give me some dap, baby. You from the city?" He give me some dap, and as he give me a hug, I feel for the gun, grab the gun. I say, "Hey, brother, you can't have this in here." And he said, "What you mean, man?" I said, "Hey, man, I understand you're trying to protect your people, but you can't have this in here. In the state of Texas, you can't have a weapon on you if a place sells more than alcohol. That's 50% alcohol of their sales. So in other words, let me clear that up. You can't have a weapon on the property of a place that makes more than 50% of its sales in alcohol. You can't have a weapon on a property." So go for it. So I let him know that. And he was like, "Oh shoot, you can't." I said, "Yeah, you can't. You're a drinking customer. You can't be armed in here." So I say, "Hey, man, listen, man, either you give it to me or you let me hold it and we'll walk out and I'll give it back to you. But you're gonna have to leave and I can't let you back." So he looks at me and he's thinking, "Well, I already have the gun in my hand." So I'm looking at him like, what you want to do? You make a move, I got your gun. You ain't got it. So he says, "You know what, man? I understand what you're saying. I'm just trying to protect my people. Let's walk outside." I said, "Let's go." We walk straight to the front door. The club moves out the way. Everybody's taking a chill. His family don't know what's going on. They're like, "Hey, what's going on?" And I think they just followed behind him because they had no idea what was happening. So we get out to the front door and I say, "Hey, listen, I'm going to let you go. Okay. I'm going to give you a gun." And I gave it back to him. I said, listen, you can't come back in any of these bars tonight because I know you have that. Go put it away. You guys can go to the next side of the street and go have fun, but that's not gonna be here. My man took off, said, don't worry about it. We're gone. I didn't see them till about a couple weeks later. They came back, man, and they actually gave me hugs. They brought me some food and stuff because I was hungry. I'm usually always hungry, so they brought me some food, and they actually was really nice after that, man. They appreciated it because he realized that could have been life in prison. So he was really happy that someone was looking out for him. He was thinking, it's about people's mentality, man. If they're not thinking right, that if they think that they're in danger, then you're gonna act in danger. You shouldn't be in danger, But that's what security's there for.
That's an interesting story. Here in Canada, we have a lot stricter firearms laws, so you don't encounter it as much here, but obviously it's an automatic arrest, even if you have a gun outside of a bar here. We're also back on lockdown here in Canada, in Ontario. We're stuck here on full lockdown until January 26th. Gyms close and everything. It's a lot more open in Texas, which I liked. It was worth being there for a couple of days just to experience that. But how has your experiences been during this whole COVID situation?
Go ahead, Bryce.
Whenever COVID first started, I had a lot of big stuff in plans. I had some things where I was going to be working with the Olympics, the Olympic boxing team. Hopefully that's still in the works in 20. Well, I don't know when the next Summer Olympics are going to be. Not this year, but the next 4 more years. So I don't know where they're going to do that, but hopefully we have still. But I had a whole bunch of stuff in the works, even more than just that. I had a whole bunch of stuff that I was looking ahead and a lot of things planned. And then COVID happened. And I remember for a few months of just on the weekends, just sitting at home, just be like, man, this sucks. It happened for a couple months, and then as slowly but surely, things started to pick back up, and I started doing, shows again, but not in my state of Louisiana because we have a commission, and the commission has completely outlawed pro wrestling due to COVID. They won't even waste their time having a meeting. It's just too much. So we can't have any wrestling in the state of Louisiana. So I moved elsewhere with wrestling. I started announcing in Mississippi, and then I started back announcing in the state of Texas. And Mississippi, I networked with people, started working with more promotions, and then bam, in Texas, I'm back with SWE, and I'm with Lions Pride Sports, two of the biggest promotions in the state of Texas, even in the South. SWE being the entire country. Lions Pride Sports and SWE are just killing it. And honestly, it's going to sound crazy, but COVID did me well. I didn't expect any of this to happen. I figured it was just going to be horrible, like bad results completely. But I'm having a great time. COVID treated me all right. I just waiting on a stimulus.
Yeah, I think everybody got affected by COVID and kind of in that same way there, man. There was the big gears turning at the top, and everything got slowed down. Everybody's gear got slowed down, but slowly but surely we started cranking it back up mid-year going on. And I think we're going a little bit more stronger, more freely, differently than before. It's a little bit of a different country today than what it was a year ago. So I think if we keep pushing in this type of way, we're definitely going to have the type of America that's going to have amazing wrestling, especially with 30,000 people watching SWE. I mean, hey.
Yeah, I've heard that the next event for SWE after February 6th is going to be in a town which I'm not allowed to reveal yet, but it's going to be in a town that's actually, from what I understand, going to allow them their biggest crowd since the lockdown. So that's pretty exciting. And we hear some of these names getting thrown around. I think they might actually be able to pull it off, getting a good crowd in there with the crew they're putting together. I Am Alpha mentions Brody Lee's recent passing. Frank, did you meet him when you were backstage at that AEW event?
Unfortunately, no, I did not get to meet him. I got to meet a lot of people that were associated with him, and they were amazing. and everything that I know from them, that they were amazing and heartwarming, loving people that they were, then I can only understand that he must have had the same spirit and the same talent too. So, it's a tragic loss for the industry, because I would have loved to have an opportunity to be able to have that chance to make that connection. I would have loved to. But unfortunately, moving forward, I'm just hoping that everyone else that was close to him will find the peace in their hearts and, can move on and build on to be stronger from this.
Here's a more lighthearted question. Mike wants to know our favorite female wrestling crushes, past or present. There's a few right now that I won't mention just because I'm in the interview business and I probably interviewed them, that I find quite attractive, more so than the past ones. I was never really a fan of any of the ones from the past, but I'll let you guys give your answers on that.
Wow.
Hold on. I'm gonna take this. Hey, I don't know who asked this question. No disrespect to him, but it's best just to keep that comment to ourselves, because with everything going on in wrestling, you don't want that kind of environment these days. Speaking out movement is a pretty big deal. You don't want a word getting out and like bam, 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 bam. It's like a snowball effect. I'm just gonna go with
answer
Mae
is
Young.
very simple.
All right.
The answer, listen, the answer is very simple. Okay, all of them. Okay, we love all of them. Okay,
all of them.
All of them.
All of them.
Yeah, I guess that's a good answer. There was someone on here, I'm trying to find it, but asking if any of us ever had any interactions with Sunny. We did use her up here in Canada in Great North Wrestling back in 2008, and I didn't particularly enjoy being around her, and she had already been on the downhill for her looks by that time. But yeah, I can say I met her, and overall, I wasn't very impressed with her.
Okay, so
did he just say she was on the downfall of her look? Oh my god.
Okay.
Stop the damn show. Oh my god. I'm sorry, but that was hilarious.
Oh, thanks for bringing it. Now you're going to get me in trouble.
Oh, that was great. I'm sorry. That was great.
Oh,
she was on the downfall of her looks. What?
Man, you don't ever say there's a downfall on a woman's looks, okay? Don't ever
there you
say
go,
that
Frank.
about a woman.
Tell him.
Downfall. You got a downfall.
And this is coming from a guy that knows a thing or two back in his glory days, which are over now, from what I understand. But yeah, okay. So no one's gonna give a straight answer on Mike's question, so that's fine. As far as you, Frank, I know you had the AEW matches. Is AEW where you would want to be if you were signed to a contract by one of the quote unquote major wrestling organizations out there right now?
Oh, brother. The hesitation, right? Oh, yeah. Who wouldn't want to be signed to any company anywhere, man? I mean, that's like a trick question there, brother. I mean, but as far as like, what do I have to bring to the table? I look at the product, I look at what they're doing, and they're amazing. Trust me, they are simply the most athletic things I've ever seen in my life. I mean, there's guys that can do triple moonsault, corkscrews, monkey flips, all in one move. I'm like, whoa, where's that coming from? So they're doing amazing things, and just how I stand and I look at the product, do I fit what they're looking for? Do I bring something to the table? And that's just being a contractor, being a pro wrestler, being an individual that loves this sport that I do. I love competition, I love battling out, I love being in the ring. But do I really bring something to that federation? Do I really bring something to their TV? Those guys, I'm a big guy. I'm 240 pounds. I'm 6 feet tall. I'm not an acrobat. You know, I'm not an acrobat. I might be a black, angelic, agile guy. You know, I was about to say angelic, but you know, agile. But
And yeah, he is angelic.
you know, but when it comes to that, like, what do I bring to the table? And it's not saying that it's in no way saying anything to put myself down. It's just, where do I put myself? You know, you gotta really look at yourself, like an old story I once knew. A granddad gave a kid a watch. You know what I mean? And this watch, the kid took the watch and went to the pawn shop, and the pawn shop was like $10. Would only give him $10 for the watch. And then he took the same watch and then he brought that watch to the thrift shop, and they offered him $200 for it. And they said it was pretty nice, and they would give him $200. He took the same watch and then he brought that to the museum. And then the museum told him, "Hey kid, I'll give you $2 million for that. It's an antique." You got to know your place. You got to know where your value is. And honestly, when you look at yourself as a value, you got to understand, where do you stand? What can you bring to the product? What can you really, where do you put yourself that you can bring the best you? You know, where can you be the best you? You know, and if AEW is it, then AEW will be it in the future. If SWE is it, then that's where I'll be. I'm a free contractor right now. I'm working on myself. I'm building myself up. I'm in the gym every single day. I'm making it happen. I'm lifting weights, baby. I'm looking this damn good because I look good all the time. So yeah, you know.
Yeah, and the difference, I would say SWE actually has, as I said before, more TV reach than MLW, and probably more star power than MLW overall now too. And they're even using, I understand, Selena De La Renta from MLW will be managing the Blood Hunter going forward, in SWE. But I think the difference with SWE and the other TV companies is SWE isn't at the point where they're signing people to contracts yet. But overall, I think they have great potential. So good answer there, Frank. And for the people that are hating on AEW, everyone has their own tastes in wrestling, and they're definitely catering to a market. Now, the promoter of SWE just actually sent me his latest poster, Bryce, so I'm going to put it up once again to remind people of the SWE event coming up February the 6th in Irving, Texas, just outside of Dallas. And Bryce, what can you tell me about this Miranda Ali's, who I think is facing Christy Janes, another one of the SWE girls who has competed for AEW. We also see Selena De La Renta on the poster there with the Blood Hunter, Charlie Haas, Amber Nova, Moonshine Mantell, Lindsay Snow, champion Tim Storm. It's going to be a hell of a card.
Yeah, Hannibal. You asked me about what I think about Miranda Alizé. But yeah, I think a lot of people mispronounce her last name, but Miranda Alizé, I've seen her wrestle a few times in person. Of course, at Hurricane Pro in Beaumont, Texas. Love Hurricane Pro, but she is. It's crazy. I've only seen her in intergender matches, and she holds. I mean, she's great. I think she's Hurricane Pro's cruiserweight champion, I believe. So she's awesome, man. She's really good. She's got a great gimmick. She's incredible in the ring. I'm a huge fan of hers. And her, Miranda is going to take on Christy Jane. No, yeah, Miranda Alizé. There's like two Mirandas now. SWE. It's crazy. Miranda Alizé is going to take on Chris Janes. That's going to be a great match, most definitely. And that's a big night with SWE. Of course, we're bringing in a lot more women's talent. Of course, our general manager, Teddy Long, and our board of directors are bringing a lot more women's talent. We have some of the greatest women's wrestlers in the world wrestling for SWE right now. Of course, Lindsay Snow, the winner of this year's Bloodsport tournament, Josh Barnett's Bloodsport tournament. Lindsay Snow, the American Kaiju, I'm a huge fan of hers. She is unreal in the ring. I mean, she is as shoot fight can get. I mean, she is throwing bare knuckle punches all day long in the ring, and she's freaking awesome. Amber Nova, I've been a huge fan of Amber Nova since she first got started a long time ago. Amber Nova, she drives like a orange Chevy Nova. Like that's her gimmick. She has a wrench and everything. It's pretty cool. But Amber Nova is an incredible performer too. Incredible athlete. Of course, Lindsay Snow. I shouldn't be picking sides because I am the announcer. I got to remain neutral. But Lindsay Snow, do not be shocked if Lindsay Snow climbs the ranks and becomes the SWE Women's Champion very quick. Like I said, she's a shoot fighter. And Hannibal, I know you like shoot fighting a lot. Lindsay Snow is a damn shoot fighter.
But then you got to throw in that I don't know if Eddie Guerrero's daughter is starting on February 6th. Maybe you know, Bryce. She's not on the poster, but she's definitely on the one after this show, and I think that's when Lacey Von Erich is going to debut as well. So Christy James has a hell of a task in front of her to keep that women's title. I know she's been in AEW as well, but there's so much star power now in the women's division that it's going to be a force to be reckoned with for sure.
Oh yeah. Sounds like it's some
Big
heavy
time.
heat going over there, man. Heavy heat. That's old school blood versus blood right there. That's a three-way dance from old school Texas Tornado right there, man.
Yeah.
That's tradition. Ooh, look at that. And looking just as good as their pappies, man. Look at them. Young, furious, angry, ready to go. Looking like they're about to tear the whole show apart. Wow.
Miranda Gordy has been my favorite SWE Fury women's wrestler, but I have to say I was really impressed with Shaul Guerrero's promo that she posted on the SWE Fury YouTube channel that people could look up. She's got the mic ability and the charisma of a future star. Do you know her background at all, either of you? Other than being Eddie Guerrero's daughter?
Go, Frank. Frank, you live in El Paso, so you got to know something about Shaul Guerrero.
I know a little something, just a little something. I got to meet her in person, and she's phenomenal. She's great. Man, she's ready. You can tell that she's putting in the time and the work. She's there. She was up at AEW, and she's putting in work, man. She's rolling, she's banging, she's smashing, she's slamming. She's doing it all. She's got the technical skills of a Guerrero. It's all in her blood. She's moving. She's making it happen. So I think that's going to be a phenomenal. I think she's ready to execute, man. I think she has a game plan, and I know she knows what's going on. Just like any Guerrero, they plan. So I know she's got something coming. And I think that's going to be a great match to actually go and see personally, honestly, to be there to actually witness that firsthand.
Screaming Baboon says Rodney Mack looks meaner than the Junkyard Dog now. He looks like a leaner, more muscular version of the Junkyard Dog. And I understand he's 50 now, but he actually looks in the best shape of his career. And I think this could be his best decade yet, the 2020s.
Yeah, Rodney Mack, of course, the Red Dog Rodney Mack, our current SWE television champion, which you will see that match on the newer episodes of SWE whenever they air. But man, Rodney Mack, of course, a Louisiana legend, pretty much, man. Rodney, of course, from my home state of Louisiana, I know plenty of people that were trained by Rodney Mack at the original Dog Pound in Church Point, Louisiana, in the middle of a cane field. There's a wrestling ring. There's Rodney Mack in a lawn chair, putting guys to work in the ring, man, stretching everybody. It's crazy. But Rodney Mack is legit, man. He's at the top of his game right now. He's on another level. And Hannibal, you mentioned that this is probably the top. Yeah, it is. But man, it's gonna be hard to beat from Rodney Mack's. I don't know. Right after like 2015-ish, I forget exactly what year it was, but he literally held every single title, like from Texas to Alabama, like Florida, Georgia. Like he held every title that's in the Southeastern Conference pretty much. Like he literally won belts in every state. And I remember like, there's a picture of Rodney with just all these belts. And people are like, nobody can hold a stick or shake a stick at what Rodney was doing. I mean, he had literally every major promotion in every state's championship. He was a champion of everything. But
See, that is 100% correct, and you gotta
yeah,
understand that a man like Rodney Mack, towering, as big as he is, as vicious as he is, as gruesome as he can be. I mean, his tactics and stuff in the ring is just vicious, man. He ain't no
mhm,
joke. He
yeah.
really is a dog pound. It's like being locked in a cage with a mean dog that's ready to tear your face off, man. You ever been locked? You ever locked horns with a pit bull before? Man, it's tough to pull your arm out, especially when even when you're playing. It's tough. Okay. I mean, hey, but honestly, like truthfully, right now, I think Rodney Mack holding that television title in SWE actually signifies a very beautiful era for SWE, because you're looking at a man that has pretty much brought through title after title and held championship after championship, beating some of the greatest in the business. Period. Okay, beating them, put them shoulders to the floor and pinned. And this man has won these titles legitly. And he stands that tall, knowing what type of honor and prestige he brings into this business, knowing that right now he's the current SWE champion. Then that means that title right now that he's holding backs all that history. That's what's going with it. It's building the title. And that title right now he's holding, oh man, if anybody in the world right now has the right mind to think that they could beat Rodney Mack while he's on the top of his game, that's be a good try. I mean, I'll try. I still look good. I look good. I can try them. I don't mind, you know. But I'm just saying, he's a dog, man. You know, oof, I can't do it, man. I don't want to get bit. That's what I don't. I'm scared to get bit, man.
And Bryce, I'm not denying that Rodney had a good past 5 years, but what I mean, as far as his best run with SWE having 30 million plus homes now for their TV show, and I understand that might even expand. More people are going to see him. Plus, matches are being shown on the Hannibal TV. Matches are going to be shown on the SWE Fury YouTube channel, as well as other platforms. I think as far as exposure, more people might see what everyone's been missing outside of those southern states in the next few years.
You're right. You're right. Most definitely. Most definitely. Hey, and really quick, while we're talking about Rodney Mack, you can't ignore who is in SWE at the same time as Rodney Mack. Who's the director of women's wrestling operations? His wife, former WWF Women's Champion Jazz, former NW Women's Champion Jazz. Who is the general manager of SWE? Rodney Mack's old manager, Teddy Long. Could we ever? I mean, I don't want to start anything here because I love everybody. But could we see an alliance there? Could we see an alliance between Teddy Long, Rodney Mack, and Jazz? Am I the only person that's talking about this? That just blows my mind. I don't know.
And we haven't even mentioned the heavyweight champion now, Tim Storm, who retained that title over AEW superstar Lance Archer back in December in Greenville. I don't know if there's been a formal announcement on who is challenging Tim at the February 6th event. Maybe Bryce could fill us in on that. Do you know? Because we know Supertex was in the running.
Right. And that match was signed. There was a contract signed for that match. It was supposed to happen. Could we see that match actually happen in Irving, Texas? I am thinking so. I think just stay tuned to SWE social media pages within the next week or so, next couple weeks. You'll probably get an announcement one of these days that it will be made official that the match will happen. Supertex versus Tim Storm for the SWE Heavyweight Championship. And I love Tim Storm to death, man. I love Tim Storm, and he's a great champion. He's a great face of our company. Man, it's hard to bet against Supertex Brent McKenzie right now. Of course, Supertex just won the Texas Wrestling Review Male Superstar of the Year. So, I mean, he's also just wow, unreal. I haven't been really with SWE while he was on his reign of terror and tearing up the place and butting heads with the authorities. But man, it's hard. It's hard to bet against Super Tex. I don't know, Frank, if you got an opinion on that, but
I'll be honest with you, man. I'll tell you this, man. I've done my homework. Like I said, I like being a student of the game, and I've been watching what Super Tech's been doing, and he has been tearing, or at least he had torn like a tornado through Texas already. I realized that, yeah, I just seen it. I wasn't here for that during that time. I wasn't here, or back in the business during that time. But I got to see a little bit of it. I watched some of the back tapes and saw what was going on. And yeah, he's a massive competitor, man. Like, he's dangerous, man. He's a force of nature, literally. It's like Trump. He's a big boy. I'm gonna say it just like that. That's the best thing to say. That they say down here in Texas. They say that he's a big boy. And I know Tim Storm knows what he's doing. He's a veteran. He knows what he's doing in the ring, and he's in his prime. He's pretty much primed. He's ready to go no matter what any day. So that's still a match I still can't say which side. I'm not gonna say. I'm gonna say this one's gonna win. I'm not gonna say that one's gonna win in any favor. All I know that's some two superpowers that's about to collide right there. They're beautiful, and that's gonna be a match to definitely watch.
It'll be interesting to beat Lance Archer, retain the title against Lance Archer. Even though someone commented Tim Storm is 53, I saw him up close. He's still keeping himself in top shape. We all know he's been a teacher. This isn't a guy that's been partying his whole life. He takes his wrestling very serious, and he had a good NWA title run. Darty, one of our members here, wants to know, Frank, do you see yourself working for AEW again in the near future?
Like I say, yeah. I mean, why not? That's capable. I mean, that's an open question. Of course, I was there once. Why not again? I mean, things change, things move. Think people develop. They may want something. Yeah, I might just be there. And trust me, if that opportunity arises, I wouldn't mind. I'd be there again.
Very good. And someone was just asking if Tim Storm still teaches. I did speak to him backstage at the last event, and yes, he does still teach, and I am supposed to interview him soon, so hopefully that one will be a live fan interactive interview. Vernon Williams says SWE should take over the world. Who knows? They are presenting a more old school product, more of a classic Texas wrestling product, not as much comedy, not as much of the gymnastics type stuff. So I think that will actually help separate them from the other companies. And they're also bringing back heavyweights. Frank is a big guy. We mentioned Lance Archer, Tim Storm, Rodney Mack, so many big wrestlers out there. The Blood Hunter, Brent McKenzie, he's got to be over 300 pounds or close to it. So there's some tough customers in SWE. And as we wind it down here, is there anything, Bryce and Frank, we could start with Bryce, what you guys want to plug or quickly mention to the fans before we wind up here?
I mean, yeah. I mean, SWE is on another level right now in the state of Texas and all across the country. There's been a lot of companies that have done this and haven't done very well, but SWE is just on another level, and they're on TV networks and outlets all over the country, and they're only going to get better. There's rumors going around that I won't even mention because they will be announced very soon of where they're going to go to next, and it's going to be huge. Stay tuned for that. But yeah, SWE's next event is February 6th in Irving, Texas, the Southern Junction, which is going to be a pretty cool venue. It's like a big Western nightclub, but it's humongous. They got a big ring. They have a big lighting rig above the ring, so the production will be awesome. I love production. Lots of great talent's going to be there. All your favorite SW superstars, including some new women's wrestling additions. There we go. Of course, Amber Nova, Lindsay Snow, Selena De La Renta from MLW, Miranda Alizé, our women's champion Christy James. Mark Henry will actually be in the building. Finally, WWE Hall of Famer and World's Strongest Man, Mark Henry, of course, our general manager, World's Strongest Man, Teddy Long, and Justin Credible, a late signee, ECW veteran, ECW legend, just incredible. Can't wait to see Just Incredible. Tim Storm, heavyweight champion, will be there. Moonshine XL. Of course, the Blood Hunter will be there. Blood Hunter destroyed those two guys from the Bible Club at the last show. Who knows what the Blood Hunter could do at this show, February 6th. Brent McKenzie's going to be there. Andrew Anderson, the reinforcer, who broke Action Jackson's arm in that Legend versus Legend match, which was insane. The questions are still surrounding what is Terry Funk going to do. We have no idea. Somebody's talking to the Funker, so we don't know. Last but not least, SWE is doing big things, and a lot of people, a lot of naysayers out there, they are very critical about SWE. There's naysayers about AEW. There's naysayers about WWE. Everybody likes to poke at the big dog, but you can see they're not doing what the big dog's doing. So there you go. But yeah, that's all I have to say about that. Frank, what do you got to say, buddy?
Man, all I got to say is this, man, you're amazing. My man Bryce, the announcer, I love it, man. The voice, I love it. Not much, man. Like I say, I'm just all these incredible matches that you're putting out there, man. All these incredible people, the talent that we're talking about. That's in SWE. That's amazing. It's like almost seeing technical wrestling, that real wrestling that you loved as a kid, all back again. It's like recapturing those moments all again that you really love so much. And that's what SWE brings back to pro wrestling, brings back to the platform where people can feel like they're watching something that they love again. And I really enjoy that. And being part of that right now, if that's an opportunity that's coming in the future, then yeah, I'm definitely down for it. So it's great to see all those that's going on. More questions.
Very good. And one more time, where can people follow you to if they want to follow you on social media? SWEfury.com is the website for SWE Fury. TheHannibalTV.com is my website. SWE Fury is also on YouTube. Subscribe to this YouTube channel too. And we're on Facebook and Instagram and Twitter at The Hannibal TV, Twitch at Great North Wrestling. Bryce, where can they follow you?
I'm very simple. Like I said before, I'm on Facebook, Bryce Boudreaux. I'm on Instagram at Bryce Boudreaux Announcer MC, I think. I'm on Twitter at The Experience Live. Of course, I have a podcast too, The Experience with Bryce Boudreaux. I try to upload every Wednesday. New episodes starting this week. I actually had Lance and Eric on the show, so that's going to be cool. I'm going to have a lot more SWE stars on the show. I'm thinking about talking with some of the behind-the-scenes people at SWE very soon. So, yeah, I have a podcast as well, The Experience with Bryce Boudreaux. You can also catch that on Facebook, and we're on all your favorite podcasting sites, Spotify, all that good stuff.
Very good. Frank, what's yours again? You could catch me at Frank Stone 85, Frank Stone 85. That's on Instagram, Twitter, and Facebook. Yeah, just like that thing right there. Oh, I got it right. Look at that.
Hey, look, there it is. It's
you can
right.
definitely find it, right? Try to find which
There.
one you use. Yeah, you can find me at Frank Stone 85 on Instagram or Twitter. Follow me for the latest content and also for the stuff that will be coming up this year. I got a lot of stuff, a lot of action happening, so I'll definitely be there. And thanks, Bryce, and thanks, Hannibal.
No problem. Thanks for coming on. And Bryce, I'm going to let you close this up with a final plug for the big SWE Sweethearts Brawl, February 6th.
Yeah, February 6th. Oh, it's all on me now. Yeah, February 6th, Irving, Texas, SWE presents Sweethearts Brawl. It's going to be at the Southern Junction. I do not know the address by heart, but it's in the heart of Irving. It's right by the airport, easy to get to. Of course, all of your favorite SWE stars, including Mark Henry, former WWE superstar, of course, WWE Hall of Famer, World's Strongest Man. Hey, Malaya Hosaka is going to be there too. Women's wrestling legend will be there. All your favorite stars, Tim Storm. The graphics are flashing so fast. It's crazy. And Justin Credible's going to be there too. Moonshine Mantell, Max Castellanos. I don't know if he's going to be in the building. Who knows what's going to happen between them? Teddy Long promised they would have a match. What in the world is going to happen? So much to see on February 6th in Irving, Texas at the Southern Junction. Teddy Long is going to be there. All your favorite stars, including some women's wrestling additions like Lindsay Snow, Amber Nova. List goes on and on. Shaw Guerrero, Lacey Von Erich just announced, Miranda Gordy. Awesome show, February 6th, SWE Sweethearts for All. It's going to be great. I'll see you there.
Thank you for watching the Hannibal TV.